Yes.
Evening, folks, and thanks for coming in. You're all very welcome. I hope you're all safe and well on this lovely Monday. It's Monday. I forgot what day it was there. Monday evening. A dry Monday evening in Scotland, so that's a bonus. So tonight, for the first time, we are meeting Claire H Louise from Urban Paranormal TV. Claire is an urban explorer and investigator, all tied into one. So this is the first time we've met Claire. And thanks for coming along, though. It's nice to meet you. We've been chatting for a wee while through mail and what have you. But it's nice to finally meet you camera to camera.
So, can see just about. Is there anyone in yet? Any comments?
No. 2 in so far, and a thumbs up. So that's good, you know.
2 in.
2 in. But you see, this is the thing about the Facebook and YouTube, the playback on it. Sometimes we might just get 10 views in one night, but then over the space of maybe a week or something, the views kind of.
Yeah, I'm mainly YouTube. I used to be on Facebook, but I sort of come away from there because having too many networks can be quite draining. And, you know, I'm on TikTok at the minute. I prefer that as well. I do shorter clips of my evidence where you'll find, obviously, on TikTok, which is on Urban Paranormal TV, and more YouTube, which is Urban Paranormal TV. Tend not to do a lot with Facebook because there was so much going on. And because I was sort of, how can I put it? I started off running a paranormal group, and I've done that for like 9 years. Due COVID, the group collapsed because of COVID. Everyone didn't want to come out and everyone drifted their own way. And I was putting a lot of work in, and it was quite draining. And I, you know, still got a little bit going on, but I sort of went off and started exploring houses which were abandoned. This was 2 years ago. At first, I didn't do paranormal. I filmed the houses, which my wall has got the houses on. And then I started to do paranormal in them, which was a bit difficult because it wasn't always at night time. It was daytime, but I noticed in the daytime you could get still the same activity what you would get at night time. So to me, you know, I was happy doing that, and that's what I've been doing. So Facebook at the time, a lot of people were doing private investigations, paying for venues, which I did, and there was a lot of criticism on there, this is why I come away, because people didn't like the fact that explorers were out during COVID filming paranormal, going into buildings during COVID, and there was a lot of stuff, and I come away and literally just stayed on YouTube, and that's where I've been. And obviously I dip in and out of Facebook, and that's where you've messaged me. And yeah, it is, you know, that's where I've ended up now staying, doing the urban exploring, where I do houses, I do mines, I go out with some big explorers which are on YouTube, which you do need to check out. There's Secret Vault. He is into military stuff, UFOs, crop circles, you name it, he's into it. Exploring sea forts, underground caves, mines. You know, I'm very fortunate and lucky that he takes me under his wing and takes me out. I also go out with Urbix and Taffy. Go and check him out, guys. He's on YouTube. And I also go out with Explorer Brady in my recent videos, and a few other explorers, but those 3 I've shouted out because I was out in my last videos. But yes, check them out, guys.
The urban exploring, we love getting into abandoned buildings as well because of the history. We don't actually, the trouble up here is that a lot of the abandoned buildings are all locked off. You know, they're fenced off, they're boarded up, they've got cameras over them, kind of thing. And it's hard to get into them. We've found 1 or 2 that we've investigated as well. But I love getting into the buildings as well and just having a wander about, you know, when you think of the history in these places as well.
Also forgot to call my husband out, Oxford's finest explorer, by the way, before he kills me. So he does full explores of the houses. He does help me with the paranormal, and he'd go and show you the details of things we've found. So quickly before I forget him, like I always do. But yeah, the abandoned places we've travelled sometimes 150 miles. We've got to a location, and it will have no entry point. It's completely sealed, and we've literally had to find other stuff on our maps near it open, or turn around and drive back home. Now, that is a risk you take. You plan your route out, you plan your locations. We put about 3 or 4 locations in one day, and we would travel hundreds of miles, and we would do one after another, and it's exhausting. But like you said, a lot of are sealed up. A lot are getting emptied now because of people complaining. But the thing is, these houses like are getting more recognised because there's more explorers out there. So the farmers are getting fed up and seeing people going across fields. And so they go and empty the houses, and they normally empty them and burn all the stuff. And there was one house in the Yorkshire Dales, which actually the farmers, you had to climb up literally the mountains. The farmers actually ended up ripping all the stuff out, and there was stuff in there from early 19 something books signed by people doing poetry and famous people. That this stuff was a time capsule stuck in time when these people lived there. They must have lived there like 80, 90 years, and everything was in there, but the farmers ripped it all out and threw it in the pile and burnt it. I've actually documented that house, so I'm very lucky.
So that's the same as we did the Ivy House. Can you not change the post so it can be shared?
No.
I'm not sure.
I don't think you can. It's a closed group. It's on YouTube. Let them know it's on YouTube. What's the name of the group?
We're Paranormal and History. We're on YouTube and the Paranormal Collective Network as well.
That's what you need to put. Yeah.
A closed group. We did the Ivy House back in March, and it's near Warrington. And there was all sorts of paperwork, just a bit left on the floor. And looking.
Well, I think I know where you're on about. It's called the. I've been in the house.
The murder house, the demon house.
I filmed in it twice. Now I went in there. I can't remember the name of the house. It's really bugging me now. I need to know the name of the house. Oh my goodness! 1 minute. I'm going to find the name of the house out. It's bugging me. I need to know. Lol, what's the name of that house in Warrington we did? We went there with Katie and Nancy too. Twice we've been there and it got destroyed. Huh? That's it. It's called the Ivy House.
Yeah, that's the one we done.
Right, the Ivy House. Now we went in there and we found a 100-year-old letter. We did wrap it up and put it safe, but people found it and it got destroyed. Now, the first time we went there, the house had amazing stuff in. The second time we went there, everything was thrown everywhere, smashed. There was a bird cage, wasn't there, on the ceiling? Did you see that?
No, that was Jack. I don't remember seeing that.
That was obviously ripped down when you went there then.
It was back. It was March we went, beginning of March we went to investigate.
Oh, it was destroyed by then. I've been a long time before you.
You get a lot of young people as well going in and, drinking, drugs, all that kind of thing. And because one team that we worked with, they'd done the Ivy House, and before we went, their founder says to me, he says, when you go in, he says, before you take the girls in, go in and make sure it's safe, because the last time they went, they found a whole load of needles on the floor.
This is a problem. There's a few places like that, but then the other we go to, but then a majority of the places we go to, because they're quite good time capsules that not many people have got, they're sort of quite in good order, and we're lucky to get in there. But once they get out, sometimes they get trashed, some don't. But I know I've been to a few really like abandoned places. A few places outside to say they're very different what I do. But the one that you've done used to be really lovely until everyone got in there and it just got completely trashed, and all the person's belongings were trashed, photos smashed up. It was heartbreaking really, because there was no respect for them people that went in there.
Right, so that's the thing about the paranormal and that today. A lot of teams go in and they just don't. If you're going into a location, you need to respect the location regardless of what it is.
But I think a lot of the locations I do don't get given out to many paranormal, because what happens is all it needs is them to tell one wrong person and it gets in the wrong hands, and unfortunately it gets out. But as at the minute it's changed, a lot of stuff is getting out and a lot of stuff is getting destroyed. I don't know how much longer I'll be doing abandoned places, but hopefully I can go around and document these buildings and their history, for, their memories of the people that live there. I contact spirits in these houses that had lived there. The one the other day I contacted was, where was it? It wasn't a nice spirit actually, but I got children coming through. That was near London. And I had children actually saying they could hear me and talking back to me on the radio. I was scanning it. And I got back home, listened back to it, and I was shocked. Like, I couldn't realise how much footage I've got with these children talking to me, because when I was there, like, the noise of the radio and it scans, it just, I didn't pick it up. But they're having an actual conversation with me now. So I've started doing this in a lot of the houses now. I used to do a lot of Ouija boards in there and try and get the name of the people, their history, the name of them. And I ended up getting quite a few bad ones lately because my energy was so low. So I've stopped doing them for a bit and I've been using my radio again. But yeah, I've been going into these abandoned houses and I find the energy is a lot better in them because of they've not been overdone. Like in a group, if you keep horror in a location, the spirits get fed up, don't they? And they don't want to come forward and talk to you. Well, luckily,
we've spoken about that so many times about, spirits. You go to a location, you might get nothing. There might be spirits about, they could be standing right next to you. But if you get groups going in over and over and over again,
they get fed up. Spirits get fed up. It just goes dead.
No, that question again. That's the 10th time this week I've been asked that question, and because let's face it, as we always say, spirits no different for us except they don't have a physical body. That's it. We're still the same person when we go. That's
get
over.
fed up.
In the physical life, if somebody's asking you the same thing, it's like "Are we there yet?" scenario. They get fed up with it and they say, I'm not even going to answer that anymore. And that's how I think you need to get in. If you're going to do an investigation in a new place or whatever, then you need to sort of get in with a kind of different, a lighter energy, a lighter attitude, and rather than interrogate the spirits, try to talk to them.
That's what I've learned to do over 10 years. And the thing is, I've done a lot of spirit boards. And normally when in groups or with other people, I've been told you need to shut it down. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be. Now I've learned through spirit that they have a personality like us, and I keep the board open, and I do get like sworn at and told to F off and called names you wouldn't probably be able to repeat on it. And people going, oh, you've contacted demon. And like, I know, like you just said, it's the person. If you just walked in someone's house and then spirit's sort of there still. And I know if someone walked in here and I thought I was still here, I'd be telling them to fuck off. Excuse my language, but get out. They're going to say, you're this, you're that, or get so defensive because they're scared and probably don't know what's going on as well. And some are stuck and don't know what's happening. Some are confused. Some are just completely low, malevolent energies that just want to wind you up and be horrible.
You do abandoned buildings. You get into this building, say it's an old house.
Stuff.
There's spirits there, and to them, in their mind, this is still their home. This is still their territory. Basically, it's where they want to be. And if you get people getting in and just, disrespecting them, they're not going to entertain you. As you say, you could get a negative spirit. It's a demonic word that gets me, but
if it was demonic, I don't think they're going to give you any warning. And I've had like 2 of my videos. I've had my son-in-law taken over not long ago. He won't ever go near Ouija board again. He went out the room. I told him to leave. It was affecting him. He wouldn't listen to me. Sat down, said, "Oh, I'm all right." I said, "Right, I've told you to leave the room, get out the building, because I can't help you if they start affecting you. Now, I've seen a lot of people get taken over in 10, 11 years. I've seen quite a bit that I shouldn't have seen. So obviously he started then getting pains, throwing up and doing what, if you've ever seen someone taken over, what they do to you. Now, he will never go on the spirit board again, but it wasn't actually the spirit board. It's because he wasn't grounded. His weakest link. He actually probably half-heartedly didn't believe in the paranormal, and if you're scared, they're going to target you straight away. If you show any fear to any spirit, they're going to have you. But that happened.
An open door, basically. You know.
Yeah, and that happened to him. And then the other few, about a month ago, a bit longer. Don't know if Taffy's watching on here, but he started to get taken over in a house, which the spirit followed us. He was really badly attacked, by the way, and I got him out the house and got our equipment out because the house belonged to a traveller family, and there were people outside, and I didn't want them to turn up and take our equipment, so we all sort of decamped out that house very fast. Actually, it was quite weird. We went and knocked on the woman's door because the man outside was quite friendly. I thought it was one of the family. And he took us to one of the family's houses down the road, and she confirmed what happened to the man in that house, which I'd had on the board to give me his name and confirm what happened to him. So the whole story added up, like what happened to him. She told us that his son went in the house when he died because he didn't leave the house to him and committed suicide. First of all, he wrecked the house, though. He put all the taps and thingied everything in the house so it was no good, and then killed himself. So obviously his dad, the one that passed suddenly of a heart attack, was really stressed out, and he'd come through and attacked my mate. He even followed us to a fort like over 50 miles away from there. He came back through my spirit ball really angry. I actually had to sort of then talk to him and find out what was going on, and we were shocked. Obviously he'd followed us, and I managed to talk to him, work out why he was upset, and he managed to help him go over in the end. But all it needed, because he was so confused of how he'd gone quick and what happened, he had guilt, like we would in life, still feel guilty about things. He had no one to talk to. He was losing the plot because he was so confused, and that's all it took, was someone to sit there and talk to him properly for 5-10 minutes, and then he realised everything was calm, polite, and he went. And that was the one that attacked my friend. So it's a lot of I've learned a lot through spirit, and people go, "Oh no, it's evil, it's a demon, it's followed us, quick, shut the boards." I won't. I will go a little bit deeper and push a little bit more, even though they try and put their hand or push your throat, go in you. And I experienced that as well, but I've learned to push them out. And I've learned that, sometimes you need to counsel these spirits and sit and talk like you would a person that was generally upset, and explain, go through things and talk to them like on a level and take them through things, because he was panicking. He was a complete, like, when someone's having an anxiety attack, he was like that.
But you see, that's it. As you say, talk to them, because they are still people. They may be in spirit, but they are still people. So if you're going to be, we've been out and we've had, we've never had anything demonic. We've had rude spirits. Sarah get called quite a choice name one night, and we've had spirits say, F off, F you, the you, that kind of thing. We done a Canongate Kirk in Edinburgh one night a couple of years back, and as soon as we walked in, we get this heavy feeling that that basically get told. We weren't told to leave, but you could just sense it that we weren't wanted there. But I went for a walkabout, and filmed a wee bit.
Again, that depends on how sensitive you are, how open you are, again, to how affected you are. Now, I'm sensitive. I feel energy. I'm a bit of a clairsentient, so I feel what's happened to them. I feel the energy. I feel everything. I can feel people's energy. I can feel their anxiety. It's sort of quite a good gift to have, but also it's not a good gift to have because you tune into everything and it's exhausting. But if someone's shut off, like you walked in that room, you felt that heaviness, you felt that. Someone could walk in, not feel nothing, go, I can't feel nothing.
That's it. I mean, Sarah's in the chat, Sarah's my partner, she's a co-founder as well, but she seen a shadow and she just point blank refused to go into, go into the Kirkyard. She went back to the car. But the weird thing about it was nothing freaks me out, and I'm quite happy-go-lucky kind of thing. I went for a walk around the Kirkyard and came back out to the car, and when I came out to the car, well, we got up to Greyfriars after it, and I just had this really kind of angry feeling, really.
Yeah, that's dodgy.
If someone had been walking down the street, maybe I would have punched them in the face.
See, that to me, that could be one, something that is demonic following all around you, or that could be again a lower spirit coming into your aura, feeding into your energy, letting you know how they felt, attaching to your aura, attaching to you, and something like that. Or it's just going to be if not something demonic. It's hard, I think, to tell the difference, because I think something demonic's going to stay with you a little bit longer.
I'm not an expert in demons, but I think something demonic is really good at you. But I get in the car and we drove up to Greyfriars, and the further I got away from the Canning Gate, the feeling just disappeared. Greyfriars is
it left you.
But the feeling was totally gone, and I was back to normal again. I wasn't angry at any of the team or anything. It was just inside. I just felt, I just want to punch somebody. But then the feeling disappeared. But I think the demonic thing and the paranormal is just too often.
It's hard. There is something out there, but it's you're treading on ground to find out what it is, really. Mm. I've had stuff in my house. I've had stuff here that I've had to get a lot of people in that was here before I moved here, that was opened up by people. I don't know if that's demonic. I don't know. I believe when it's demonic now. I did a family. I went to a house to do a family, and I was so, hold on, I can hear them in there. They're getting loud up. A family, I went to them and I felt around the house, but I kept looking at the person, and I knew in me that there was something in them, like there was an attachment that was part of them. I don't know if it's demonic. They were an Indian family. But what happened was we did get someone in to do an exorcism to get rid of it, but the family didn't say, or nothing happened. So what we did say to them was, maybe you need to go to your sort of, your religion, someone who deals with it, specialises with this sort of stuff. And they actually went to where they would go, and they went in India. And apparently the girl messaged me saying that they couldn't, there was I can't remember how many she said. She said about 10 different demons in her. But she said what happened is when they tried to move it out of her in India, it was the person who I thought it was, by the way. There was another person there in the family. And apparently when they were doing it, they did some chanting stuff. She was screaming, but different voices were all coming out at the same time. And they wrote and told me this. But when I was in that house, I suspected that it was something. I got a feeling, like you said, that feeling that it was something bad and heavy, but it was more attached to them, not in the house. And I was shocked that, that happened. And then she wrote to me again. They'd come back to England and gone because they couldn't get rid of it, and they had to go to somewhere else. Now, I lost contact with them. I did try and stay in touch, but when I last heard, they were saying that they couldn't get this out of them, which made me think this is more demonic now, to the point, when you have a family telling you they've been to over India, gone to there where they go, seen someone that would help them over there, and they couldn't remove it. So they've come back over and gone somewhere else over here for their religion, and they couldn't remove that. Is frightening. Because I thought I was near that person. But I think people say, oh, what a load of crap. But I think you have to experience or be around a family and hear their stories. Like we sat in the house and we were hearing their stories about what was going on and how they faced argument and stuff that went on in the house. I can't remember now the detail. But they said certain things, behaviour and things were happening and going wrong in the house and really bad luck and people dying. And I sat there and I couldn't believe I was hearing it. until you're around someone that's suffered or gone through like a attack or attachment or anything like that, it's hard to believe. So I've sort of seen that side of the paranormal as well, because that was something a little bit different for me, because it wasn't in an abandoned building, it wasn't in a location, it was in someone's house and in their family. They were affected.
A family home. Craig's saying people are almost expecting demonic stuff to happen due to overexposure TV. Nearly every little girl that came through has to be a demon in disguise. Craig's part of this. Wallace has been there, part of their team. But I get what you say. I mean, I think TV over dramatises the thing. You know,
TV have made people in spirit boards, or what I call Ouija boards, terrified. Now, I'm not being funny. A demon is not going to come and spell out I'm a demon on a spirit board and tell you it's a demon. Because as soon as people do it, they go, get away, never go near it again. And I'm like, I stand there and I think, oh, they're having a joke with us. You know, they're trying to frighten you. They're playing a game. And there's no way a demon is going to come through and tell you they're a demon. I just...
They're not going to introduce themselves. You know,
they're not going to tell you anything. They're not going to let you know they're there.
They're just going to start doing their own thing. But as you say about, you know, you need to experience it. I think it's the same way. There's a lot of people don't believe in the paranormal.
Oh,
Simple.
I know. I get so many nasty comments saying, what a load of poo, what a load of... I've even said on my TikTok to people, they've said you recorded it. And I'm like, what? Come on, don't be so stupid. I'm like, anyone that don't believe it, you come with me. And then you tell me if it's true or not. Because they're quick to criticise, but come on, come and get some balls and come out then. Come into some of these dark places and walk around at night like I do when I do night ones and buildings and stuff and get stuff through. Honestly, I've been in the middle of woods in Devon in houses and had EVPs when stood there in a man that had a house of a man that had schizophrenia who died. His wife lived there a little bit after. The house is abandoned before I was born in 75. So it was 72, 73. Mm-hmm. So I went in the house, all their stuff, belongings there, called out. I got a man's voice come through on the EVP. Talked to me clear as anything. I wanted to run, but if I ran, the stairs were so dodgy, I'd gone through them, or the roof, I'd gone through the floor. So I had to just stand there like frozen. My husband was outside taking photos. I couldn't believe I'd got that evidence through. But then when I play it on TikTok, people go, oh, you've made a recording and made that up. And I'm like, oh, God. I really think I'm going to go to a midden of a wood, travel 150 miles each way, waste petrol, walk through fields in the mud, go for a river up to my bloody chest and get in a house just to fake a thing. I don't think so.
You just go to your local park or something, your local woods or something.
Oh, God.
You know, it's the nature of the beast.
I think that people are very closed and not very open to realise there is something else here. Now, even doing spirit balls makes sometimes I believe I've contacted something that I don't know, or something different that's in a different dimension, and that we're not the only ones. There's something else here. But now I'm hearing through the white noise, my radio recordings, I'm getting a lot of kids and getting a lot of people communicating very well to me. I've got a good radio. I can't remember the name of it, but I've got one of the good ones. And they've been really like clear voices coming through. It's making me think now they're around you more than I thought, because they're talking back to me. And sometimes, like before, because you've got to sit, haven't you, doing paranormal? It doesn't happen straight away. It could take 45 minutes to get a spirit ball going, or it could take 15, 20 minutes to hear or not. It doesn't happen straight away. I've been very lucky. I have to sit and wait and record. And I've been getting some really good stuff. So I'm really happy with that. But it just doesn't help when you get people saying, oh, it's fake, it's crap. Why do people think nothing else is out there? How are we the only ones? That's what gets me.
I mean, to say, you know, we don't do the UFO thing around, but I believe there is life on other planets. What it's like, I don't know. We green men, you know, people maybe, I have no idea, but there's got to be something there. And let's face it, I always look at it when people say the paranormal doesn't exist. My dad was like that. My dad used to say, once you're dead, you're dead. That's it. Lights out. Nothing.
A lot of people are like that. Oh, lights out. That went out.
There you go. But my dad was really, that's me. He was diagnosed with cancer, and the doctors told him there was no hope. I always remember going up to the hospital to see him, and he was all that, right, that's me, son. I'm buggered, that's me. So my time's up. And I was kidding them on, I said, oh, you'll still be kicking about, you'll still be hanging around. No, son. Once you're dead, you're dead. That's it. Like I said, you disappear. And you think, no, you don't, because, I always look at it, what gives us our personality, what makes us the people, let's face it, our bodies is just meat and basically, but what gives us our actual essence, it's our soul, our spirit, and our energy, and that, when this body goes, your energy carries on to something else.
But there's something else there, definitely, and I haven't figured it out. I can't figure it out. I've asked a lot of questions to spirit, but it seems that they're only allowed to tell us so much, and then they back off and they're told that they're not allowed to tell us. And I've found that out with over 10 years of doing spirit balls. I can only get so much out of them, and then they shut down and refuse to talk. It's sort of, they're not allowed to let you know certain things. But then someone said to me, well, perhaps there isn't nothing then. I said, well, I don't know, but why are they talking then? It makes you wonder, but I carry on doing what I do. I go to these houses. I try and contact the families. I've helped a few spirits move over. I believe a lot in the afterlife. Even though I'm scared of passing away, because I'm scared of leaving my kids, but I think we all think like that. I do believe there is something there, because, as I say, a lot of my videos, the communication I had is just been, amazing, and it shocked me. It makes you think. At the end of the night, when you go home, or end of the day, and I go back and edit my videos and find this evident, it makes you think. I don't know if you go back sometimes and think, wow, how did they do that? It still gets you. It's mind blowing every time you get something different.
We've been lucky enough, in our investigations. We've had DVPs and what have you that we cannot explain.
Yeah.
There's one sticks in my, I call the whispering lady. It was a full sentence, and she was right next to me, listening through the app. I sent it to different people, and they says that's not through the app. Whoever it is was next to you, and it's when you get stuff like that, you think, well, explain that to me.
Well, I was on a bridge doing the editing earlier, and I clicked my radio on, and a voice came through and said jump. But as soon as it went on, my battery went dead off my radio. It's on my filming. I didn't even know I had that on there. You hear the voice. I heard, because I forgot all about it when we're on the bridge, I heard the other thing. Did that say jump? I've gone back, rewinded it down, slowed it down, said jump. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I mean, I've had, we done an investigation at a castle in Ayrshire one night, and 4 of our team members' names came through. Quite clear.
It's good to get names and confirmation from them.
But I've met people in my life. It just not weird. I went to see a medium many, many years ago, and I've told this story before, but I'll cut it short. It was a spiritualist church I went to. I'd never been there before. It was a last minute thing. It was a totally different town. I walked in. I knew nobody, not a soul. The medium came on, and she came straight to me, and she says, "You've got a daughter in the spirit world called Donna, and she's been sitting on your knees since she came in." Now, nobody knew that. Not once. And
there are a few people that are unique and that are out there that are true. Now, I'm very weary of some people, but I've had a medium come up to me. I lost a friend. He died on a boat, actually, in the Isle of Wight. He drowned. He was on a fishing boat. And she came through to me, come up to me and said the same thing, his name, and said he's showing me the sea. I literally burst into tears. It's my best friend when I was at school. He worked on a boat which had I can't remember the name of what they are, but they have the big hooks, they're fishing nets, and they tipped over and the boat went over out on the Isle of Wight in the Needles. I was only 15. It was my best friend at school for 3 or 4 years, my friend. I was absolutely devastated. And when she told me that, because all these years since I was younger, I never thought he would be around. And when she told me that he was there, and showing me the sea and a boat. That was it. I knew straight away. There was no way, like you, that woman would know that. No one knew it, and that
No,
confirmed it for me. And I think until you get anything like that happen to you, you I can't explain it. You're always on the fence, aren't you? Still, is that true? Yeah, you could have said that. On the fence. And I understand people when they say, "Oh, that medium's fake, they're a load of crap." And I understand why people say it. Anyone could say that. But when you get confirmation like that, personal to you, that's when you start thinking a little bit different. Like, there are people out there that do channel properly and do get proper evidence through.
I'm convinced. She also says, I've got a young girl here. Her name begins with an A. Her name's Alison, and she died. She didn't die here. She passed over in another country. She passed over in America. I remember it word for word. That's how thing it was.
Yeah.
So she passed over in America, and it was something to do with her breathing, and there was a car accident. And before I get married years and years ago, I went out with a girl called Alison. Her mum and dad split up. Her dad went to America. She decided to go to America to live with her dad, and she got a job in a pharmacy. And one night when she was driving home, she got an asthma attack at the wheel, and she crashed. And she was now, at the time, it was my first marriage at the time. But I didn't even tell my first wife, about Alison or anything, because it was right at that. The only person who was my mate, who was by then living in London. Nobody else knew, but this woman told me, Alison, America, breathing,
crazy.
And she says she wants you to know she's watching over you, and she always. And it was one of the nights I came out, and nothing freaks me out. But I went outside, I sat in the car, and I must have sat there for a good half hour, just trying to. And I told people about it. I told my ex-wife about it. Told Fred, they were like, "You talk rubbish." I said, "Well, you explain that to me." This is what the woman told me. I was sitting there and she told me that. No. It's a load of rubbish. I said, "Well, how does she know about Alison? How does she know about Donna?"
I know, it's horrible when you try and tell people and you're so like, it happened, it's real. People are still like, "Oh no," trying to dismiss it off and make you feel like crap.
And it does. It gets frustrating in whatever ways. Look,
no, it is frustrating because joke.
And it's not if you get any reason to make it up, because you try and get attention and stuff. You're telling people genuinely what happened. It's the same as coming out in investigations. Gail in our team, her husband Reese, he didn't really believe in it, and then we took him out in an investigation one night. And stuff happened to him. And after the investigation, it was that, well, I didn't believe it first, but now, and he's been in a few investigations with since then. I think you need to experience it for yourself.
And that's why I get non-believers that have joined me. So I'm still running like a bit of a team at the minute, and I've booked another venue, and I do get a few people that come. And they're like, "What a load of rubbish. It's not true. It's fake. You're pushing the table, one table tip, you're lifting it up, you're pulling it with string, you've got magnets." I've heard it all. And I'm like, "Oh, just come, yeah." And I've took a few people, and people have absolutely been stunned and shocked and thought, "Do you know what? I want to come again."
That's what Reese said. He said, "I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I'll let you back out." And you're not taking them out because you want to convince them. You're taking them out because
they have their own experience.
Aye, that's it. You're not trying to push the paranormal. I know you get teams out there that do.
I don't push it on them. I just leave them. Go with that lot. Or come with me, and they just stand there. As to say, I don't say nothing to them, and just do my. I like to just go and get on and do my work. Call them in, get the spirits working. At one location, I've got. The spirits have got used to me going there now, and I could call them in and go, "It's me again," and they come, whoop, table, whoop, and I'm like,
that's what I was going to ask you, Claire. Do you think the more you get back to the same,
spirits get to know you? Yeah, they do. I've got a fort I go to, and there's a few spirits there, and they stay there. They're resident spirits. They don't move. They don't follow anyone home, and if you call them back and say, do you remember me? I got you doing this. They come flying back in. And yeah, I've had a few. I think they do, because they've come back to me, and this is at the fort that I'm going to go to soon. And they come back, and there's a young male spirit there, and they're very strong. The spirits at this fort are so strong. I mean, they it's like entertainment all night, dragging tables, blooming all sorts. It's like they love writing to you, talking to you on the spirit board. They like they've got personality. There's a big boat in the museum, and they rock the boat. They even rock it back and forth. It's absolutely crazy. I've not seen anything like it. What is that? I'm reading your, what's that say? Skeptics. Yeah, you do need skeptics there sometimes to work out and go, hey, that happened, that bang was from that, and this is from that, and this is that. And like me, when I've got equipment like the K2s and phones and lights, you've got to be so careful. But the white noise of my radio that scans, there's no way people could come and talk back to me. Do you know, sometimes it's thrown me. I think, have I heard my own voice just through the white noise coming back? And it's took a while, and you've got to really listen. But I do get K2s and some of these apps now. Necrophonic, I've used Necrophonic. I've had crap stuff on it. I'm a bit on the fence again. But then I've had a few things that have cut over it and come across the spoke, and I thought, well, that went in the app. But I think it's listening and see if they can manipulate that bit of equipment you've got and come and talk and make, something happen. I don't think, I believe in all that equipment. I do try it. It's good for videos and visual stuff, some of it. I'm a bit still thingy about Necrophonic. I don't know if you've used that one.
Yeah, that's really the main one. We've tried other ones, and some of them don't make any sense.
Necrophonic I've used and got some good stuff. At first I was like, and then I've listened and I've got a few little things coming. I'm like, hey, how did that happen? And things that, when they go it in the app and you think, but that weren't programmed in the app. But, you can tell. You can sort of draw it out a little bit.
It's like when there's a place up here that we've done quite often, Loudon Kirk is called. We were there last week. Again, we were saying earlier on about daytime and nighttime. We done an investigation at nighttime. Got loads of, it was an amazing night, but we done one last Friday, in fact, we were there. Friday morning we went, and with the Necrophonic on, and it was a part down the back which we found out is actually a family plot, and the name, we got a lot of Scottish accent coming through the app with words. There was a lot of Scottish.
That's crazy, because it isn't programmed like that.
Sten, one of your friends, the Silent Hunter, check him out, by the way, folks. He actually mailed me. He says, listen, I might be wrong, but I don't think
these are, say that. Who's the person talking about? The
Silent Hunter.
Okay.
He says, I don't think these apps they're only programmed with English words, but we get a lot of Scottish accents coming through. We've had that at a few locations. Last Friday.
That's good when you get stuff like that coming through.
You can't explain that.
Oh, excuse me. A long day.
You've had a busy day. I know you're off on holiday tomorrow as well.
Yeah. Also, I've got someone else said something down here. I've just gone onto the screen. Being brought up with it as a Christian, believe in heaven, angels, etc. See, I believe in all. I say I'm no religion, and this is what I was brought up in a Church of England school. I was brought up knowing the Lord's Prayer. Now, I believe also, because people say, well, what are you? Are you a medium? Are you this? I say, look, I've probably got a gift where I think spirit can see me and I draw them in and can help them move over, and I don't know how. It's just natural. I've got a gift where I can feel spirit. I can know when they're in the room. But I was brought up, as I say, believing in the Lord's Prayer. So, I know that off by heart. I learned that. And I believe there is something out there. And this is a bit important part for me with paranormal. If there's something not right there, or on the board I've got through that isn't quite right or causing a problem, I do wear a cross. And I do believe in Jesus Christ because I believe that he was a healer. Now, that's why my belief, I carried that me, my protection. I believe he was here to help people put on the earth to heal.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there is a God. I believe, not quite sure what. And this I will tell you. People are like, oh, I'm still not sure what. I believe there's something out there, but I'm not sure what. But because I believe in Jesus Christ, I wear that cross and I use him as my protection because that's what my beliefs were. You know, I was brought up with certain things, but I would tell someone if they say, well, are you a Christian? Are you this? Are you this? Are you that? I say, do you know what? I'm nothing. These are just my beliefs. These are my beliefs. And I don't follow any religion, but do you know what? I respect everyone else's religion and what they believe in. I never, ever turn around and say, you should believe in that. Because everyone's got their right to believe in what they believe in. I think that's very important with the paranormal as well, because as I say, when I've had bad stuff through, I've had to do a few things, and I believe that as when they do exorcisms, it will only work if you believe in them sort of things, and that's your thing. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
No, you
get that bit in there as well. Sorry, why I got it in my head because it came in and I needed to say it. Something was telling me I need to say this.
No, I totally agree. It's, yeah, I mean, you get these people. I mean, I'm the same as you.
Maybe that was my guide then, by the way, that popped in.
Telling you.
20.
I'm the exact same way. Laura is as well. Laura's in your team. I believe there is something God.
I don't believe in criticising other people's beliefs. I believe it's offensive, and none of us have no right to turn around and say, well, that's that, that's that. I think we should do that.
No, you shouldn't. Everybody's got their own, you know.
I'm very against it. A lot of my friends, some friends are Muslims, some friends are something else. You know, I've got Catholic friends, I've got Irish friends that Catholic. I've got all sorts of different friends that believe in all different things, and you know, good friends as well. And they have completely sort of different beliefs to me, and they know what I do, but they never, you know, turn around and have a go at me.
No, I mean, I've been asked I've been asked before. Well, you know, is there a heaven and hell? Do you believe in it? I said, well, to be honest, you know, there is. I believe there is some kind of heaven. You know, what it's like, you know, is it mountains, trees? You know, what it is, we don't know. You know, there's a hell.
I don't know, but then some people say this is hell. What could be worse? You don't know. Look how cruel and this world is. You know, we could argue this one out for hours. I'm an animal lover. I can't stand watching things on the internet. I can't stand seeing anything cruel to them. I even stopped eating meat, but then I knew I tried my hardest to not eat meat and I found it so hard. I've cut out a lot of stuff, and because I was brought up with it, it's so hard. But then it got to the point when I was eating certain meat and I was thinking of the animal and I was spitting it, I can eat it. I'm still like it now. I can probably only eat chicken, and then I still think about them and it's awful. I'm a bit of a what's the word? Empath as well. I can't see things getting hurt. I can't see people in pain. I'm awful. I actually, if I see anything that's not right, I start being sick. That's how bad it is for me. If I see an animal struggling, or like I stopped the other day, a badger being left in the road, people are going to run it over. I parked my car, got my daughter out the car, was stopping cars saying, no, you're not going around it. You're going to kill it if you run over it. And then people pull up, say, should we just run it over and do it in? I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not going to. You know, I stood there with a badger. Luckily, I know a rescue number, and they got there in like 15 minutes and took it. It had brain damage, but they put it down. But still, that was a badger I picked up. And then another time I picked up a deer off the road and covered it up and covered its head and got it picked up because I can't leave anything. It's every animal I pass on the road that's dead, I feel for it and I feel the pain. It's awful, and it's something that I've got in me. But I think that's
I will confess, I was an HGV driver for 20 years and I have hit a few animals, not intentional.
Yeah, I think I've hit a deer before. It ripped my car off and nearly killed us all. But I felt awful after. You know, it's happened. There's nothing I can do. No. It was awful. It was like weird.
Especially at night time. It's hard to see. If somebody's asking what's your thoughts on negativity that surrounds the paranormal, do you think there's much competition?
Yeah, there is.
We've been talking a lot about that. What's your thoughts on it, Claire?
Yeah, there is a lot. do you know what? Even in the urban, with the a lot of urban explorers are doing paranormal now. And I've just seen the divide in how they contact people and talk to certain people. Then I notice that I'm not approached by many people, so probably not liked. But yeah, I notice a divide. I notice a divide with paranormal teams. I notice a lot of bitchiness. I run a team myself. I notice a lot of competition. I've seen it all. There's probably not many people I've met in the paranormal have got a nice thing to say about other people, which has made me really like aware and step back from it a lot, especially doing the private teams. I've done it from both sides as well. I've run a team, I've run private teams of people that are quite well known. I've, experienced a lot of things, and then I've done my own stuff. And I still think paranormal teams that are in the community, all different teams, I don't care what anyone says. I think they all slag each other off. I've seen it myself. I've run a team. It's just like, oh, that's fake, that's crap, they made that up, oh, they're shit, oh, they don't do that properly. And that's what I don't like. I don't think, like me, I don't like being told what to do. I work the way I work. I'm loud. I call out to spirit. I've learned through spirit a few things that they drift off of the board, and by horroring my voice, it helps them come back to the board. Spirit has taught me this myself. I'm self-taught. So I work the way I work, and I get people say, oh, you shouldn't take your finger off the board. Oh, you didn't shut the board down. You didn't do this, and criticise everything. And it is out there. There are teams out there. There are people that are looking to put you down. And I believe everyone, again, like religion, has an individual way of working and are different. And people tune different. They start working different. They protect different. And I again sit back and just watch people all going blah, 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 and people try and criticize me on my videos, and I think, do you know what, I don't really care, because I know I'm working and I'm getting really good results from it, as long as you're not being disrespectful to the spirits, which I don't like, again, as well. And you get them being quite aggressive and calling names to spirit. I don't agree with that. But thing is, I've been told some people work quietly and I'm loud. I'm like, I don't really care, because that's how I work with the spirits I work with.
As you see, you're going to. I mean, we were criticised last year. You told we were investigating wrong. But well,
what's the right way? Come, please tell me.
I thought to myself, well, one, what's the right and wrong way? There isn't. Let's face it, there's no school of paranormal. You don't go to school to learn about the paranormal. And two, well, for a team that are doing it wrong, supposedly, we seem to be getting on okay. So obviously we're doing something right. And everybody's got their own way of investigating. I mean, there is a lot of competition out there, and it really grinds my gears.
People just need to leave people alone. Now, I'm better than you, all this crap, and I just watch people, and where I'm a bit psychic and sensitive anyway, I don't need to know what's going on. I know just by people, way they approach, talk. I'm not stupid. And, I feel, how do I put this? I'm quite a loner on YouTube. My channel, I'm quite a me to me. I've got a few good people out there, my friends that explore it, and a few good people in paranormal. I know, these big people that are coming on YouTube, and I've done it a while, 2 years. I haven't got a lot of followers. I don't get a lot of views. Then I know people that have come in very recently and just get up here and they ignore you. And I just can't be asked with people over it, and people thinking they're better than anyone. I really, I will carry on doing my videos if they don't get loads of views. I carry on doing my videos if they're crap. I'm doing it for me. I'm picking evidence up. I love it.
Teams are, there is quite a few teams out there, they're views driven, they're followers driven. But, it doesn't matter if you get 5 views or 500 views, you're doing something that you love.
Some people are in it for money as well.
I donate all that.
I don't care about money. Do you know what I care about? Like, I'm going out there, contacting spirits and helping them move and getting them stuck and finding out history. I'm finding about life. I'm living life. I'm finding about the past. It's all different things for me, not just I want money on here and YouTube or views. Be nice to get a few more views and feel a bit more appreciated, but that's it. I'm not, so accept it. Just do your videos and get on with it. That's it. That's what I do now.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I check back on their lives to see, using what.
Oh, of course, everyone does that. But I'm just saying there are a few out there, which I will not give names, but there are some out there that are just, you can tell, really money grubbing. That's it. Don't need to give no names. But
I mean, everybody.
There's a lot of people in paranormal. Some just more interested in money, and some just more interested in paranormal.
Aye, it's a competition, and we're not to be out. There's no awards in the paranormal. There's no Oscars or for the best captures or whatever.
We're all the same.
We do because we love what we're doing, and
we just work differently. Everyone works.
Aye, I think that's then. I'd rather 50 subs who watch my content than 500 who don't even bother. You see, that's the thing. I've looked at a lot of channels and they've got maybe 2,500 subs, but their videos are only getting like 20 views. You think, well,
do you know what?
2,000 odd subs, Laura's saying, I said, the love of the paranormal is the passion that drives you as a team and an individual. I
believe since a young child, I was put here for a reason, and I've always, as I say, sent spirits since a little child. And this is where I started doing it, because when I was probably 6, 7, I told my mum there was a man in the house, and she said, "Stop making stories up." I said, "I feel a man in the house watching me," and she was like, "You're telling stories." And I used to take my cats to the toilet with me because I was so scared, and I could feel him watching me. And around, I can't even explain it to you what it was because I was so young. But a few years later, well, it wasn't even that long actually, we moved out when I was about 8 or 9, and she wouldn't tell me why. And then when I got older, when I got to about 14, she told me that a man walked through her door, walked round the bed and stood looking at her. And she moved because it frightened the life out of her. And I always felt his presence in the house, and I always knew what room he was in. And my mum used to say, "Why are you imagining? Why are you thinking things?" I said, "I know there's a man, but I can't explain to you what I felt. The coldness. I felt the press. I can't even explain it to you. But this is a gift I've had since I was little, and it's always been there. And it interfered with my school, interfered with me mixing with other people, children, because I was basically reading people constantly. My energy was all the time. Everything was too much for me. I was absorbing, like a sponge, but it was all psychic stuff, like reading people, kids in schools, like looking at that kid when I was a kid myself, going, "Oh, you're this sport little brat that's screaming." It just working out all these different personalities. It was weird. And it really interfered with my schooling and made me different because I was very quiet because I was too overwhelmed and everything was too much. Even the teachers, I'd be reading them. And I'm like, oh, as a young child, and I didn't understand it. It took many years as I got older to understand what that was. And it did. It was because it's my gift and what I do. And I can't ever take that away. It's just natural. And people say, "Well, what is it? How'd you get it?" I'm like, "I don't know. I was like it as a kid." It's no different to me.
You don't. I mean,
it's horrible because I meet people and I know straight away, "Oh, you're an asshole. I don't really want to talk to you." And I read energy and I know what they're thinking about me, and I'm like, "Oh, just stop." It's horrible.
It happens to me. I mean, I'm not a medium. Some people call me a sensitive. I don't call myself anything. It's no.
I feel it in here. I feel it. It's horrible.
I can meet somebody and within about 5 minutes, sometimes I can tell you exactly what they're like, and sometimes I'll pick up on spirits kicking about. Sometimes I can look at photographs and tell you, maybe the background, the history of the place that these people are at, even though I don't know where the photograph's taken. And it just comes to you, and it doesn't happen. It can be weeks apart. It's that
come around me now, by the way.
It's what? Sorry?
Spirit just coming. I've just had a spirit come in now and start pushing on my throat with a cough. So I don't know if that's related to you, but someone with a cough. Don't know why. See, that's what happened to me. I'm like, get away.
I
But yeah, because I'm a bit ADHD. See, because of I was diagnosed with ADHD as well at a later age. Where I was hyperactive, I found it very hard to channel. So I've never chose to learn to because it was so hard. Because I'm like, ugh. But my energy brings them in. But I just had one come around now because they went on my throat. And when they push here and they made me cough, I know there's a spirit around me. But I'm like, I'm not working, go away.
I'm on holiday, but I totally agree. It is. You can't explain how. I mean, years and years ago, before we had mobile phones, the landline would ring, and I'd be able to tell it was my ex-wife. That's your mum on the phone, or that's your sister.
I've done that one. You know who's ringing, and you're like, I don't want to answer it. Don't get off the bus and walk around that corner, go that way because you're going to avoid this person. Got it all the time when I was younger. Didn't listen to it. Walk around the corner, the biggest bully that's been bullying me at school. I'm like that. Oh, shit. You know, in my head, it was saying, don't walk that way, Claire. Listen, go that way. I get that all the time. That's another thing I've learned to listen to. As a child, I didn't listen and I learned the hard way. And in the end, I got the gist of it. Like, I'm walking this way down the road. No, you need to turn that way. Don't drive down that road. Turn left, even though you're going right. So I turn left. And then I've missed an accident by 3 minutes down that road. I did it when I went on holiday once. Went round this road. Within 2 seconds, pile up. I turned off. I was like, it's little messages.
You can't explain it. Say the landline, people, my ex-wife used to drive her nuts. Used to freak her out. Say, how do you know whose phone? I said, I don't know. It's just the phone goes out, that's your sister. That was my sister. I said, well, I can't explain it. I just know it was your sister that was phoning you. Craig makes a good point about paranormal groups.
I'm just having a look.
All groups, paranormal tourist groups, the ones that only seem to be there to take tours and charge. It's pandering to people who have no real interest just for money. There are groups out there that, they do events and that, which is great, but they also do investigations, in between sort of thing. They've got their own investigation, but then there's a couple of groups that just solely concentrate on events, and it's hard to explain because
without saying anything. I find where I had a non-profit team, a small team, where the bigger ones and the events came along, that we no longer can hire venues because the prices have gone up. So it's really impacted these big teams. Nothing against them, they're doing what they do, but I found that now these venues think, oh, we can get more money. So small people like me, this is what made me go out and do the urban stuff. With a team of like 6-7 people, it didn't have enough money to get up about 500, 6, 7, 8 to $1,000, maybe more. We didn't have a hobby because of it. So that's why I went to do the urban paranormal outside as well, because it was getting too expensive. The only venues that I do get are very cheap, are about 150 quid to 200 quid, which I could probably raise. When it comes to getting up to $1,000 or more, can't do it. That's another thing that's happened.
I looked at a place last year up here, and I think it was £1,200 for 3 hours. And I was like, you kidding me on? I was talking to somebody else as well. I can't remember who it was, but they looked at a place down south, and it was like £4,000 for 4 hours or something. £4,000.
What's that question there? Urban paranormal question. Everything, what do you stand by when it comes to the paranormal? What does he mean by that?
2 seconds. I missed that one. A minute. Urban. That's Sten. That's the Silent Hunter.
Oh, right. So what does he...
What do you stand by when it comes to the paranormal?
Well, what does he think that I believe you should do it right and wrong? Is that what he's...
What do you stand by when it... I'm not too sure.
I think what he means is, what's the right way? What do you think the right ways of doing it are? Maybe that's what he means by the standby, and that's what I pick up on that. But like I just said, I believe everyone should work their individual ways, not be noisy, disrespectful. And I believe, everyone's entitled to investigate and do what they want to do. But I don't believe in, pretending to throw chairs around the room, smash the place up, and getting possessed spinning around.
I create noise just to get, you know, oh, look at us, we got
Hold
so
on a
much.
minute. It flew across the room.
Because it just doesn't happen. Same as these teams that go in, as you said earlier on, that go
Hold
in.
on. A knife just through my head. No, I don't do none of that stuff. But no, I don't believe in faking to the point that, you know, pretending. Like all my footage, like on my boards, like the other day I had a spirit come through talking about drugs, and I'm like, I'm filming this. People are going to think this is absolutely crap. The spirit actually asked me for drugs, and I'm like, huh? And I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely gobsmacked. Like, people say, oh, that's fake, it's fake. It actually wasn't fake. It was asking me to go and buy drugs, and I'm like, huh, what the hell? They just asked me to buy drugs. And I'm like,
That's the thing about the paranormal. You never ever know what you're going to get. I mean, I call it the smoking ghost. We were at a location. It's in a big abandoned building. I think you'd love it, Claire. But we were up the stairs, the top floor, and we decided, right, we'll go down the bottom. And about halfway down to right, we'll sort of have a cigarette. And I put the key 2 meter on the staircase, or what's left of the staircase. And it was just sheer chance. I just says, you know, if there's anybody here that would like, now this place totally derelict. There's no power. It's been empty since 1982, and we have investigated a few times, and there is stuff there. But just, I was, you know, it's one of these kind of casual jokes. If there's anybody here that like a cigarette, make that box go to yellow. I always call it a box. Make that box go.
I say it, but I say weird things.
It went to
I'm
yellow.
terrible with equipment names. I'm like that thingy.
I just say box. And it went to yellow straight away. And I said, well, I said, just do that again if you'd like a cigarette. And it went straight back to yellow. So I took a cigarette out and I put it down on the stairs. I said, right, I'm going to leave this here for you. You know, that's yours. If you're going to say thank you, make the box go to yellow. And it went to yellow straight away again. So obviously I left the cigarette there anyway. But it was just totally random. I was kidding on, you know. Anybody want a cigarette? And bang, the box lit up.
That's crazy.
I thought, wait a minute, I'm
It's
going to
good
ask
when you get stuff like that. Like me and my husband, we argue because like things have got off. Go no, that was fine. No, that was it. And I'm trying to figure out, you know, that isn't right. And I'm shaking my camera in front of it and doing this and moving this, and it's like, yeah, I try and debunk some stuff, and I end up arguing with him. He goes, no, it wasn't. The phones are not on. And I'm like, well, they must be. And he's like, no, they're not. And we end up arguing in my videos. I have to edit it all out because I'm shaking like round, thinking, this is my phone on. This is doing affecting the equipment. Where I could get a bloody good video if I just turned my phone on and let it go off and let the K2 go on, you know. But I don't do that.
But it's good that you do that. We've done that investigation on Friday, and we'd several gadgets gone off. And so, you know, we kept moving about in case it was us that were setting them off. You know, we stand next to them, they wouldn't go off. We step away, they would go off. And, you know, we'd be back and forward. And it's good to, if something does go off, then to try and debunk it, you know.
Another question there that's just come. I'll probably answer that one. There it is, that one, yeah, because I have to go in a minute. We're getting on, we've flown by. What was that? Paranormal, right. So what happened was I actually lost how do I do this? My son's dad suicide. So what I did, was doing ghost hunts and going out with my new partner. And we went to a castle, Warwick Castle in the UK, actually. And it was like just to get out and do something. And I'd not done, it was 10 years ago, like proper paranormal. I've always been sensitive and worked and done weird stuff, but not actually gone and done paranormal in a venue. So when I was doing the spirit board with an old lady and a young girl I'd never met in my life, my ex came through on the board to me and started to talk to me, and I stood there and I stepped back from it and I was like, is this some kind of sick joke? Because I was like, how they wouldn't know his name. He started saying his name. I said, oh, when's your date of birth then? And I then asked other personal questions, and it was all answering right. And I looked at these two women like baffled because I was so amazed that he'd come through and hadn't asked for him to come through. And literally, I called my new partner over. I said, "Can you go and get my partner?" I didn't call him his name, by the way. He's got a nickname called Lo, and I said, "My partner." And he wrote out on the board. He asked him a question: "What do you want me to do for Claire?" He came over, and he wrote care. Obviously, wrote care and wrote his name. And he didn't even know his name. No one on the board or nothing. It was really weird. So he literally told him to care for me and the kids. And I've been with him since. So that was what opened it up to paranormal. And after that, obviously the board got shut down because it wasn't my paranormal team. It was a group. It was run for an event company, which I still go out with now. Obviously it had to be shut off, but I really wanted to get more answers. But I always knew you weren't meant to call them in, and I didn't really believe in that. So I didn't. And I didn't just pour another ball down and go, "Oh, are you there?" No, because I didn't believe in that. So anyway, I just started with a team and going out. And then on a few occasions, he dropped by in another private location, came on the board again, came in, said hello and goodbye, literally, and went. And then he dropped in a couple more times over the years. And then one time I decided to get him moved over and help move him on. And I haven't had anything ever since. But yeah, that's what pushed me into it. And I also believe, if there are spirits that are passed over in your family, that you wait for them, which I waited. And I don't think it's fair to call them in. And if you're doing stuff to say, "Oh, come and talk to me," even though as much as I'd love to him to, but I waited and he came through without even asking.
You wait
so
for
that's what started me. And I started doing paranormal in the team, running my own stuff, booking events. And then I went off, as I say, 2 years ago doing this, and I've done it ever since. And I've learned, obviously, everything I've learned is through spirit. I've learned on the board. I've asked them questions about how I'm doing stuff. I've asked them if it's the right way, the wrong way, how to do it, and that's how I've learned. And so when people say you've got a big mouth, I don't care. They tell me it helps, and they can hear.
it's the way you are. But I totally agree with the waiting. I mean, we've all lost relatives, family, and something. I love my dad to come through, or my granny come through, but
my dad's come through. My dad passed away.
They're ready, to come through. I mean, I'd love my daughter to come through, but I know that one day maybe
it happens.
She will when the time's right, and just don't push it. But we'll wind it up there because you're off on holiday tomorrow, and you're still to pack.
Yeah, I'm off to the festival in the Isle of Wight, everyone. So I can't wait. I'm letting my hair down. It's going to be a bit of a sad time because I just said to you, and I just said, my dad came through to me on the board a few weeks back, which I didn't expect. He came in for a minute and went again, and I knew it was him because he couldn't spell and his spirit was very weak. I didn't expect it. He just came, I think, just to give me peace of mind. But I've not picked my dad's ashes up yet, and I'm going over to get them, and I've got to bring them back. So it's going to be quite sad. It's it's on an island down south. I've got to go over on a boat, and when I go over there, I have my fun and bring him back. It's going to be quite horrible. I think it's going to hit me because I haven't really grieved properly. But yeah, it's going to be good and it's going to be sad. But then I'm going to bring him back because I want to make some little personal stuff for me to keep of him. So yeah, I can't wait. But also it's going to be horrible going back there because that's where my life was with my dad and my memories. And you know what it's like, your childhood memories, being with your parents. That's going to hit me a little bit. But I'm just going to go over and be with my family and just try and get on with it as much as I can. But
just take it, just go over, take it day by day. It's easy for me to say, obviously, just try and relax and, let off some steam and,
I think it'd be good, but it's just going to be weird knowing that I'm on that island and my dad isn't there no more, which is the weirdest thing because it's still not gone in right. Say I live in Oxfordshire, and I've always been up here away from him and just be able to pick up the phone and talk. And when that happens, it's quite sad, isn't it? You don't realise until they're gone. You don't realise and take it for granted, and you never think that's going to happen to you, and it's horrible. But
my dad, it was we knew it was coming, but we used to talk to each other every day, and it was just the simplest things that I miss. My dad was a great one for saying, give me 3 rings when you got home. It was every time, you know, even when I was like, in my 20s, give me, I'm driving home, I'm like 5 minutes drive, give me 3 rings, son. Go for it. And see if there was the odd time you get in a house and you'd forget, you know.
Yeah.
If you hadn't rang within 50, it was on the phone. What happened to my 3 rings? And after he passed away, I still done it. You know, when my stepmom was there, you know, and she said, I was giving her,
right.
you know, and it was the most simplest, stupidest thing sometimes that you
Sets
obviously,
you off.
Yeah, but it was the wee niggly habits, you know.
Don't realise, do you?
You don't. And the same as when my dad was a mechanic and he drove for years. He had an old Volvo, and I hated it. It was an automatic, and I hated this car. But then he passed away, and it was kind of my job to get rid of the car. To say, I says to my stepmom, what do you want me to do with it? You want to keep it, or you want me to try and sell it? She said, well, I don't drive, so sell it. So that's what I did. You know, I got a buyer for it. But it was really sad getting rid of this. Even though
you let it go.
You know, the day that you pick it up, you think, that's my dad's car. You know, even though I hated this car.
Horrible, horrible. It's like when my dad, I picked him up and put him in my car. I look at my car seat and think, you know, a few weeks back, I was driving my dad up the hospital. It's horrible, horrible thought. Makes you like think you're there 1 minute and then you're gone in it. It's horrible. And that's why I'm glad I've got this gift. And, oh, look, he sits in his dad's chair. And a comment now I read, by the way, yeah, it is, it's horrible. But I know it comforts me with my gift because I know he's come through once already. I did not expect it. And I reckon later on he'll come again. But I won't ask, I won't call because I don't believe in that. But I know he's about. I mean,
it's comforting for me, for my dad and I was really, really close to my we called her grandma. It's comforting for me because I know they're waiting on us, you know, and I'll see the old buggers again at some point. And that's the way I'll look at it, you know. I know I'll see the old buggers again. And they might never come through. They'll come through when they're ready, you know.
I told my dad that he needed to come through and talk to me, and he did. Now, I had a magnifying glass that I said to my dad before he died, Dad, when you die, I'm taking this. I said it a few times to him as a joke, and you better come through and bloody you want me and tell me you're all right. And when he did come through, I said, all right, Dad, if it is you, what have I got of yours? And he spelled out magnifying glass, so I knew it was him. So, yeah, it's confirmation. So no one was messing about and fake. No one would have known that. Only there was no way. So, you know, he went very quickly. He came through very weakly, and then boom. And I felt the energy on the board anyway. He was weak. He just made an effort to come and shut me up, I think. But yeah.
You know, well, at least you know he's still, you know, there somewhere.
I know he's somewhere.
And
I know he's somewhere. But
I know you're a busy lady, Claire. We will get Claire.
Thank you so much for having me.
Because, you know, we've still got tons to talk about.
We'll be after
the holiday. So just before we go, you want to plug your channel and your group again, though, just before we stop.
Urban Paranormal TV is on YouTube, and Urban Paranormal TV again. I am on Facebook, but I don't really go on there. I'm on Instagram, and what was it I said I was on again? I'm losing the plot. Tell I'm tired. But I'm on what I've mentioned at the beginning, mostly YouTube on my videos. If you go over there and subscribe, it's free. Bell button for notifications. All my videos go up every Sunday at the minute I've changed time. 6:30, not 6:45, but the minute I'm doing them about 7:45, I think, a little bit later. But yeah, every Sunday I do have a new video coming out, and I have got a good one, a different video coming out this week. It's quite sad. I'll quickly say before I go. It is a video to do with a suicide bridge, but this is the month. At the end of this month is when the anniversary of my son's dad, my partner, that died through suicide. So what I've done this month is put a video up, and I've literally highlighted about suicide and videoed on a bridge. I know I've tried not to offend anyone and basically put the suicide numbers up on there, and changed my video a bit and show people about this bridge that's in the UK that had lost a lot of life. So, you know, something a little bit different than what I've done the houses. And I've got a few little different things that are coming that are a little bit different. You know, I've gone out with some other YouTubers and gone into a few different locations, not all houses, so that's to come. But so that's one of my videos can be a bit different this month. So it's something to support, you know, what's happened. And I've just put the helpline numbers on there really for other people that need to reach out and get help and support, because, you know, I've been on the other end of the family side of suicide, and, you know, people need to learn the signs and need to know and be aware, you know, and to ask for help and get people help. And so basically I'm putting a video out there with little bits at the beginning, just highlighting them things. So I'll let you go now. I've done that.
Just keep an eye out for that, folks. But to say, we will have Claire back. She's away on holiday tomorrow, so once she's
I'll talk to you again. I'll ring you when I'm not on here anyway and have a chat. Stay in touch because I want to come up.
Oh well, we're not going anywhere. We ain't going anywhere at all. But I'll get hold of you for a wee second or two after we come off. So don't press any buttons. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. To see you will be seeing Claire again, and we're back tomorrow night with Lou.
Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone.
It's been our pleasure. So we'll say good night just now, people. Have a safe night, and we'll see you tomorrow night. So bye for now. Bye.